Okay, so once again, hello everyone. I'm Devesh Lathi from the Next Genius Foundation, and I welcome all of you for this session on how I got in. So, in this whole evening, you'll get to hear from a lot of students who got into some of the most popular, some of the top colleges from US, UK, um, from Hong Kong, from uh, NYU, Abu Dhabi. So, a lot of countries across the world, some of the top colleges in the world. And they'll share about their extracurricular activities, they'll share about their profiles, they'll talk to us about what they wrote in their essays, and they'll talk about their major, their planned major, and why they decided to join a particular college that they're going to. So, without any further ado, I let's begin the session with Annanya. So, Annanya got into HKU, that's the University of Hong Kong, and she comes from Pathway School in Noida. So, hello, Annanya. Welcome to the session, and over to you. Please start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, about your curriculum, which college you're going to, and about your school as well.
So, hi everyone, I'm Annanya. As Sir already mentioned, admissions process was like. So, first of all, I'd like to start off with what my major is and what my areas of interest are. So, first of all, I'd like to start off with what my major is. So,
Annanya, just a second.
I
Sorry
applied
to
it that
interrupt. Your
because
internet
I wanted to take
is a
up
little bit.
international.
Uh,
That's my area of interest and what I'm looking at.
Ananya, I think your internet is a little bit patchy. If you're using the Wi-Fi, which is in a different room, maybe you can try opening the door and.
And furthermore, I'm from Canada. Statement. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but it's a little bit patchy. So I think
Oh.
if the Wi-Fi is in a different room, maybe you can just open the door and then try
Hmm.
connecting, or maybe shift a little bit closer to the Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Is it better now?
Yes, yes, it's better. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, should I repeat some of what I said, or
Yes, yes, yes. Please start from the
okay?
beginning.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Sorry for that. So I'm from Pathway School, Noida, and I'm an IB diploma student. So as for my IBTP subjects, I took English, language and literature, global politics and economics as my higher level subjects. And as for my standard level subjects, I took math, analysis and applications, and biology as well as Hindi. So, yeah, for reference, if anybody wants to see how that aligns with my major, that could be helpful. Apart from that, the major that I wanted to go for and I have applied to at all the universities is international relations or political science. So, since that comes under social sciences, I applied for the Bachelor's of Social Sciences at HKU, which is Hong Kong University. And yeah, apart from that, I applied to five other UCAS colleges in the
Mm-hmm.
UK: St. Andrews, Warwick, Durham, UCL, and Oxford, and two in Canada, and one another college in Hong Kong. So the reason why I applied to HKU is firstly because obviously it's a really, you know, not just popular, but it's also known for a very rigorous and academic kind of approach towards, how they carry out their studies over there. And since my subject is quite academic and not really performative as such, or artistic in nature, I thought that would be a good fit in alignment with what I want to do. And apart from that, I also wanted to make sure that I apply to colleges that have a good employability after college. Although I would like to do a postgraduate, but I didn't want to kind of obstruct my avenues. And have that come in the way, because it's very important that you go to a college which has a good amount of employability. Also, it does come down to how you handle yourself in whatever college you go to, but at the same time the college name also has some significance. So as for my UCAS portal, as I said, I applied for political sciences and international relations in most colleges. So in my UCAS personal statement, which also went to HKU, I talked about how my academic journey interested me in political science and international relations. And I know a lot of people tend to make their personal statements very personal, I mean personal in nature, and very heartfelt or emotional. But I learned that that's not the way to go as far as political science or international relations is concerned. So I would suggest that you cite a lot of research papers or books, and academic endeavors that you pursued. So, for example, I talked a lot about my extracurriculars, and by that I don't mean sports or the typical extracurriculars that you would think of. Now, I know that's very important in the US applications, so don't take my word for it in that area, because I didn't apply there. But given the very academic nature of how the UK applications are assessed, I figured that it's not really worth the 4,000 characters to talk about extracurriculars that don't directly kind of go along with my major and the course that I'm applying for. So the main extracurriculars that I talked about were my three internships. So I did one internship at a think tank based in Delhi. So, but this was during COVID, so I did it remotely, work from home. And it's called Global Counterterrorism Council. So there I was a research associate, and I conducted and organized webinars, spoke with a lot of political people who are in the political arena, and ex IAS officers, IFS officers. So it was a really enriching experience, because it gave me some first hand insight into what the applications of your subject's theoretical knowledge is. So I would suggest you do go for an extracurricular that not just helps enhance your theoretical knowledge and just bookish knowledge, but also makes you understand how to apply that in a sort of job scenario. Yeah. And then the second internship that I did was as a data analyst for the migrant workers crisis that took place in India. And so through that, I spoke to a lot of migrant workers who did go through the aftermath of this pandemic. And as much as it was really sad and a very emotional, heart-wrenching kind of an experience, at the same time it also helped me learn a lot of things about the realities, the ground realities of this pandemic, both economically as well as for people of different social classes, which I did highlight in my personal statement. And I talked about how income inequality is a major problem, a political problem that we face today. So I would say that is a very important thing to do when you write your personal statement, to have a theme for it, to recognize one area that you really feel passionately about in your major or in whatever subject it is that you are writing it on, and kind of have that as a thematic foundation for you to develop your ideas on, and connect everything that you have done academically and extracurricular wise to that same main topic or thesis that you have created. So yeah, I really followed that, and that really streamlined my ideas and helped me articulate myself in a much better manner, because obviously there is constraint on the number of words in which you can express yourself, and I do believe it's quite less. So it's better to have everything very to the point and something you're genuinely passionate about. There is no point in kind of fabricating things or lying about things, because in case it is a college that takes interviews, it will kind of come back at you and backfire. And yeah, I would say that as for applying to colleges, make sure that it's a major that you actually do want to pursue, because unless you're genuinely passionate about it, I don't think that sense of authenticity would come through in your personal statement, which would really tell the college admission officers that yes, this XYZ child is really interested in this course and is a good fit for this major.
Okay. So why are you interested in political science and international relationship? What got you interested in these majors?
I have always been somebody who has gravitated more towards social science subjects in general. I'm not too much of a math science person. Uh, I mean, that was always established. I always knew that I would do something in that field. But over the years, as I kind of, saw things around me and, on the news, and also I studied economics in grade ninth and 10th. So I slowly started to realize that I really lean towards the development side of economics. And when I got the choice of choosing global politics as a subject, it was the first time our school was offering that subject, even though it was a part of the IB. But I saw it as an outlet to just kind of try it out and see if it works for me, because previously I was into psychology, which is also a social science subject in a way. But after looking at development economics and global politics as a subject, I realized that this is what I truly gravitate towards and feel like is my forte.
Superb. Okay, you told us a little bit about your extracurricular activities. Do tell us a little bit about your grades as well, and about your test scores. Did you take any tests, and how did you score in them?
Yeah, so as for my test scores, I didn't take the SAT because I did not want to apply to the US from the beginning. So I didn't see the point in doing that. But, I would suggest if somebody is interested, they must. And other test scores, I took the IELTS and I got an average of 7.5. So, and I got 7.5 in two strands and 8 in the other two strands. Apart from that, my predicted score for IBTP was 41 points out of 45. And yeah, I also got a 776 in my HL subjects. So that you must look into that, because a lot of colleges have that requirement where they need the student to get a certain score in the HL subjects. This is for IB students. But yeah.
Superb, wonderful. Do tell a little bit about how did you get access to these kind of internships that you did? You told that you got into three internships. How did you reach out to these organizations? Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a real struggle for me to find internships, because neither of my parents or close family members or friends have any contacts in regard to the political side of academics or international relations as such. So I was really desperately looking for these opportunities, but I really couldn't find any. So finally, one day after browsing a lot, I found this website called Internshala, where you can go on and then you can just filter according to your interests. There's like a list of options that you can select from, and it will give you internships that pertain to those interests or whatever you have selected in the filter option. So once you get to that, you can apply to multiple internships, and obviously I applied to a lot of them. And I was like 16 at the time, and not a lot of people wanted to hire somebody that was young, because there were obviously people who were a lot more qualified, which is understandable. They would obviously want to pick somebody who was more qualified. But what I've learned is that don't give up, apply to as many as you can. And if you get rejected from a few, it doesn't matter. It's it's not a reflection of who you are. Don't get discouraged by it.
Superb, wonderful. Now I'm just going to take a few questions. I can see a lot of questions are coming in, and I'll just ask you about these questions. So the first one is, um, does HKU require class 10 board results also, or just 12th is enough?
No, so in the application form, you do have to talk about your 10th grade results as well. I am not sure how much of a role that plays in the admissions process, but for reference, I got a 47 on 56 in MYP, IB MYP. But yeah, I wasn't exactly pleased with that score, and it's not that great of a score, to be honest. But yeah, there's no point in lying. Don't lie about your scores, just tell them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Does HKU offer any scholarship to
Yes,
students?
it Yeah, it definitely does. That was one of the main factors that also kind of drew me to HKU because they have some sports scholarships and they also have some country specific scholarships. But in general, even if you don't apply for a specific scholarship, when they give you the conditions, as far as IB is concerned, they'll give if you get a 43 plus, there is a scholarship. That's the scholarship condition. You get a 50% scholarship when it's 43 plus, and if it's 44 or 45, you get 100%. It's something like that. They're high, but they do offer scholarships. Yes.
Wonderful, superb. I am getting a lot of questions about your internships. People are asking, how did you get the internships? Maybe I'll just tell them a little bit more. So there are multiple websites out there. There is a letsintern.com, there is an internshala.com, and then there are many more websites. If you just Google internships for high school students, you will get a lot of websites which you can go and you can apply for internships. And I think that's how Ananya also applied for internships at Internshala. She was consistent. She applied to many internships, and of course, she got into some great internships, and now she's going to uh, get to HKU very soon. So Ananya, as we come to the closing of this part of the call, do share any final tip or advice that you have for the students who are applying to HKU.
I'd say that academics are definitely very important because obviously they're a huge part of what make up your college applications. So definitely work hard and be consistent. Don't just think that I'll perform well in the boards, because as for me, consistency is probably what will pay off, because we our boards got cancelled and students who weren't consistent are definitely regretting it now. And I wouldn't want anybody to be in that situation, so I definitely suggest you be as consistent as you can throughout the 2 years of your 11th and 12th grade. Apart from that, I'd also say don't get you know don't get into extracurriculars that you are not even interested in or cannot speak about when talking about your major, because then, I mean, I won't say it's useless because obviously you learn from everything, but at the same time, it doesn't directly apply to what you want to talk about in your personal statement. So make sure everything you invest your time in is very carefully thought about, and you give it a lot of thought before actually thinking, yes, I'm going to kind of prioritize this for a while over my studies, because if it's not worth it, then you just kind of wasted time on it and didn't prioritize your studies for no reason. So yeah, that'll be my advice.
Wonderful, superb. Thank you so much, Ananya. Thank you. It
Thank
was
you.
a great session and you spoke very well. You shared a lot of valuable information, and I'm sure all the students would benefit a lot after hearing this. We, of course, the students who are not able to join us today, we are recording this session, so we'll share it with them. Once again, thank you for joining us today and for sharing all your thoughts and sharing about your profile, about your extracurricular activities and your internships.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I hope it was helpful.
Great.